Welcome to this deep dive crafted just for you. We're jumping straight in today. We're looking at a pretty fascinating La Liga match. Leganés versus FC Barcelona. You've sent over some great stuff, analysis pieces, a specific look at De Jong's game, some fan-on-the-ground perspective, and a match review. So our job is to pull out the key takeaways, figure out why this match mattered, and, what it really tells us about both sides.
Exactly. And having these different angles, tactical, player focus, the feel from the ground, it gives us a much richer picture than just looking at the scoreline. Lets us really get under the skin of it.
All right, let's set the scene. Butarque. It's known for being a tough place to go, right?
Oh, absolutely. Historically very difficult for visiting teams, especially the big ones.
And this game sounds like it lived up to that.
Yeah.
Final score. Leganés 0, Barcelona 1. The goal itself, an own goal. Jorge Sáenz for Leganés early in the second half, about 48 minutes in.
Yeah, and that was it. All the sources agree it was a real battle. Physical, hard-fought.
Not many clear chances, it seems.
Very few. That one moment decided it.
Right. And the result is significant for Barça, obviously. Puts them 7 points clear of Real Madrid at the top.
Huge cushion at this stage. But
Wow.
there's a but, isn't there?
There is. Some of the analysis, it hints at maybe some worries for Barcelona performance-wise, especially looking ahead to the Champions League.
Yeah, that's key. Getting to the 3 points is vital, no question.
Okay.
Especially away from home in a tricky fixture. But how they won, any underlying problems the sources flag, that's definitely worth digging into, with Europe on the horizon.
Okay, let's unpack the Barça performance first then. That analysis piece you sent makes an interesting point. Possession, dominance, 68%, huge amount of the ball.
Right. Controlling the game, you'd
Feel
think.
good. But here's the thing. Only 2 shots on target. All game.
Wow. Okay. That's not a lot.
Raises questions, doesn't it? Lewandowski, their main striker, apparently very quiet. No clear chances mentioned for him at all.
Shut down effectively by Leganés, maybe?
Seems like it. But it wasn't all doom and gloom up front for them. Lamine Yamal gets a positive mention, especially first half. Looked lively, playing as a kind of false 9, apparently.
Interesting tactical tweak there.
Yeah. And the Football Flicks FC source echoes the struggle. Says Barça suffered quite a bit, didn't play well, really found it hard to break Leganés down.
So high possession, low threat. That pattern. It often suggests a team is struggling in that final third, doesn't it? Maybe the passing isn't sharp enough, or they can't find those little pockets of space around the box.
Or maybe relying too much on individuals, like Yamal in this case.
Could be. Perhaps not enough cohesive attacking patterns. And you have to give credit to Leganés, too. Their defensive shape must have been pretty solid to restrict Barca like that.
Absolutely. And speaking of Leganés, it sounds like they'll be kicking themselves a bit.
Oh, yeah.
Both analysis and Football Flicks really stress this. Leganés had proper chances to score, particularly in the first half, sort of between the 12th and 44th minute. Altamira, Raba, both had opportunities mentioned by name.
Right. So they weren't just defending for their lives.
Yeah.
They carried a threat.
Definitely. But the recurring theme, lack of clinical finishing. That cutting edge just wasn't there.
The fine margins. That's often the difference, isn't it? Especially for teams maybe lower down the table against the Giants.
Yeah, Football Flicks even said a draw probably wouldn't have been unfair given how Leganés played.
Creates chances against Barca, doesn't take them. That's got a sting. But it does show they approached the game positively. Testament to their setup.
Okay, let's talk about the goal then. The own goal. Jorge Sáenz. Came from a low cross from Rafinha.
Right.
The analysis piece sort of suggests maybe it was avoidable, but they do acknowledge Barca were putting pressure on.
Sustained pressure can force errors, definitely.
And Football Flicks adds a bit more detail. Says Oscar Rodriguez lost the ball in midfield.
A turnover.
Yeah, which led to a quick Barca attack. Rafinha gets down the wing, puts the cross in, and own goal. So pure bad luck or pressure paying off.
Probably a mix. I mean, the final touch is unlucky for Sáenz, no doubt. But the turnover in midfield, the quick transition from Barca, that's them being ready to pounce, isn't it? Top teams punish those mistakes.
Right.
So, yeah, maybe an element of misfortune, but it doesn't happen without the pressure and the error leading up to it.
Right. Now, here's where things seem to really change in the game, according to the sources. Frenkie de Jong
Yes, the halftime sub.
came on for Araujo, and apparently he completely changed the game. Both the de Jong incredible match piece and Football Flicks highlight his impact massively.
What do they say specifically?
Credited with making Barca's passing much smoother, better ball movement, and adding defensive intensity, too.
So, impact at both ends.
Seems so. The stats are pretty wild, actually, from that De Jong source. 53 interventions. That's the 8th most for any Barca player in the whole match.
Huh.
And he only played 45 minutes.
Wow, that's hugely influential.
44 accurate passes out of 46, 4 recoveries, even a key tactical foul mentioned.
So control the ball, won it back, stopped counterattacks. Sounds like a complete midfield performance in just one half.
Pretty much. Football Flicks just straight up says his introduction was key for the win.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. It underlines how crucial he is for them. When he's on song, he dictates play. His ability to carry the ball, break lines with his passing, provide that defensive screen, it's vital. And it's interesting that multiple sources picked up on that substitution as the turning point. Shows how obvious his impact must have been.
Yeah. What about other tactical points? Anything else jump out?
Well, analysis noted Eric Garcia played well as the pivot. Solid performance there.
Okay, holding midfielder role.
Yeah. And Football Flicks had an interesting thought about Leganes, suggesting maybe they'd be better off using Raba as a false nine sometimes, against stronger teams.
Interesting idea. To maybe pull defenders out of position?
Exactly. Create a bit of unpredictability. That source also mentioned the starting lineups. Cubarsí and De Jong, both on the bench for Barca initially. Eric Garcia started in midfield instead.
Makes you wonder about the initial game plan, doesn't it? Maybe rotating, maybe underestimating Leganés a bit.
Could be rotation, managing minutes with the Champions League coming up. Or maybe Flick just thought Garcia offered more defensive solidity to start. It's always a balancing act for managers, isn't it? Squad management, different competitions.
True. There was also an injury, wasn't there? Balde.
Yes, all the sources mentioned that. Came off around the 39th minute.
Analysis called it potentially worrying for the Champions League.
Yeah, that's not what Barca needs.
Yeah.
Losing a key player like Balde now, it really impacts their depth, their options out wide, especially with big games ahead.
Gerard Martin came on for him. But yeah, an injury concern is the last thing they want.
Definitely not. Shows how quickly things can change.
Okay, let's circle back to Butarque itself. The difficulty of playing there, both the match review and Football Flicks, really hammer this home. Compare it to other tough away grounds.
Yeah, some grounds just have that reputation, that atmosphere.
And Football Flicks gives a lot of credit to the Leganés coach, Borja. Says he really gets the most out of his players, especially against better teams. Mentions strong past performances against Real Madrid, Atletico.
That speaks volumes, doesn't it? Good coaching, strong home advantage, tactical discipline. It shows they're well-drilled, motivated, and know how to make life difficult for anyone visiting Butarque. That's huge for a team like Leganés.
So, zooming out again, the bigger picture, La Liga context. Analysis highlights these 3 points, keeping Barca clear at the top. Mentions Real Madrid's upcoming game. The pressure is on them now.
Right. Every point is massive now.
Football Flicks actually suggests this game might have been more important for Barca's league hopes than their Champions League tie.
Interesting perspective. I mean, winning the league is the bread and butter, isn't it? Consistency over 38 games.
Yeah. They also give a little plug for Barca's next game, Celta Vigo at home. And the match review frames the win squarely as putting pressure back on Real and Atletico. So big implications all around.
Definitely. Winning ugly, grinding out results at tough away grounds. That's often what title-winning teams do. It sends a message to your rivals, too. Psychological impact.
And it sounds like it went right down to the wire. Late chances.
Yeah, both analysis and the match review mentioned a big chance for Leganés late on. Diego Garcia, 89th minute, missed it.
Oh, imagine if that had gone in.
Right. Heartbreak for Leganés, huge relief for Barca. And the match review also highlights a massive defensive block right at the end. Inigo Martinez denied Munir in added time, described as an miraculous recovery.
Wow, so Barca really had to hold on tight at the end.
Sounds like it. Leganés threw everything at them, clearly, and Barca needed moments of defensive brilliance, like Martinez's block, to see it out.
Just shows how close it was despite the final score.
Absolutely. One goal in it, but drama right till the final whistle.
Okay, one last thought from the sources. Football Flicks FC looks ahead for Leganés. Relegation battle.
Right. What's their take?
Pretty positive, actually. Despite the loss, they think if Leganés keep playing like that, with that spirit, that organization, they've got a good shot at staying up, especially in the games against teams around them.
That makes sense. A performance like that against Barcelona, even in defeat, can be a huge confidence booster. Shows they can compete. If they find that clinical touch they were missing here, yeah, they could definitely survive.
So let's tie it all together. When you look at everything from these different sources, what's the final verdict? It's definitely more complex than just Barca win 1-0, isn't it?
Oh, much more. You see Barça grinding out a vital win, yeah,
Yeah.
extending that league lead. Crucial. But you also see the struggles, particularly creating chances before De Jong came on.
Mm.
Some vulnerability there.
And De Jong's impact, just
Yeah.
undeniable, shows how important he is to making them tick.
Absolutely central. And Leganes. You see a tough, well-coached team that caused Barça real problems, created chances, defended resolutely.
They definitely earned respect, even in defeat.
For sure. It wasn't comfortable for Barcelona at all. They were made to work very, very hard for those points. So it highlights Barca's resilience, maybe, but also Leganes' potential if they can just add that finishing touch. It's a snapshot of both teams' seasons, really.
Right. And it leaves us, and you listening, with some interesting things to think about, doesn't it? Can Barcelona solve those attacking issues, become more dangerous consistently, especially with the Champions League pressure ramping up?
And Balde's injury, how serious is it? How much will that affect their options down the stretch?
And for Leganes, can they build on this, take this performance level into the remaining games, and find those crucial goals to stay up?
Lots of questions still. This one game kind of encapsulates the challenges and narratives for both clubs as the season heads towards its climax.
Exactly. Well, we hope this deep dive, pulling together all those different perspectives, has given you a really insightful look at this particular match.